I'd like to tell you regarding Kody Brown and Robyn Brown, and why apparently the rest of the family would have absolutely nothing to do with them. And that is all founded on accusations made by someone who contacted me, someone who actually participated in arranging the Nevada National Guard Service Memorial for Robert Garrison Brown that occurred at the end of March 2024. If you remember from the show, Kody said he wanted to take Garrison home and put him in the ground. That remark, it seems, reached someone who was involved in the planning of the memorial one, who was aware of the cremation the family's desires, and that the filming of the National Guard memorial was something that no one in the family was in favor of, allegedly, with the exception of Kody. So that put him in the ground line, triggered this person, and they decided to contact me. Here's everything they claim happened. This might also explain why last year McKelty reported that something happened at the funeral that drove the family further away from Kody and Robyn, that there were things and behaviors on their part that really upset everyone. McKelty has even reported that Kody hasn't made up with any of his kids since the funeral. And if anything, things have only gotten worse. Now for some background. Garrison Brown served in the Nevada National Guard. When someone becomes an active service member, they're given the chance to create a will, establish power of attorney, and put a plan in place in case they're deployed and don't make it back, or if they pass away while serving. This individual informed me that's precisely what Garrison did in the U.S. Armed Forces. There is a mortuary services branch that handles everything from cremations and burials to the 21-gun salute, honor guard, coordinating the memorial, and helping with estate issues. They also assist the family in ensuring all paperwork, wills, insurance policies, and other important information is in place to aid in settling the service member's estate. The person who got in touch with me was behind all of this. What I was told may surprise you, or perhaps it will not. Regardless, these are their claims presented here for information and entertainment purposes only. I did check to confirm that this individual is actually a member of the U.S. Armed Services and had a connection with this particular memorial. So Garrison's memorial was done by the mortuary services of the military based in Virginia, and they go wherever the services have to be coordinated. Families can conduct regular military funerals or go for cremation burial in a military cemetery, or even conduct private services. It's their choice in Garrison's situation. According to his own desire, he was cremated, and there was no military burial organized at the service. The N of Garrison was released to Janelle and her boys throughout the ceremony. The N, with his remains, stayed with Janelle and her sons in the week. Prior to the memorial, news came to the family that Kody wished to have TLC cameras come in to capture the National Guard service. Apparently, one of Janelle's relatives, not one of her children, but another family member, called Kody and essentially instructed him not to go. They made it plain the family did not want cameras present. They did not want TLC present, and most importantly, they did not want Robyn there. As Garrison had a tense relationship with Robyn, he apparently did not like her at all. His and other relatives' wishes were being respected. The source also stated there was an undertone of emotion at the memorial. Many of the family members felt that Kody and Robyn's behavior toward Garrison, both in front of and behind the camera, fueled his emotional issues. The ostracizing, the verbal attacks, the manner in which he was treated, it all wore on him. And because Garrison was estranged from Kody and Robyn, the family did not want either of them there. Kody, though, didn't appear to care about that, or at least that's how it seemed. He was apparently instructed not to come, and was specifically instructed not to bring Robyn. As preparations were being made, the family and the National Guard both indicated they did not want the service taped. That was their wish. But when the memorial was conducted in Nevada, technically a public ceremony, Kody appeared anyway, accompanied by Robyn, even though he had been asked not to come and not to bring any cameras. And yes, he also brought TLC along with him. As my source points out, when Kody walked into the room, the whole vibe changed. There was an element of flat out, sucking out the air. One might say people were outwardly displeased with him. Just being present, they indicated that Kody Robyn and the TLC team came in as though they were some kind of celebrities. Show ponies, to use their own terminology. They had this aura that made it seem like they were better than everyone else, and that everyone should feel privileged by their presence. That is what people perceived when Kody walked in bravado, like he owned the place. Worse yet, Kody and Robyn arrived already equipped with microphones, ready to tape this incensed. Many particularly, since the family had specifically asked that the memorial not be taped. There were genuine fears of exploitation. Garrison had never been at ease with the show. He did not like it, and his last text messages allegedly indicated as much. The family did not want Kody to use Garrison's death as a means to turn the story around, to be about him instead of paying respects to Garrison. But TLC still went ahead and taped the memorial, despite many family members objecting to it. And then, when my source heard Kody say on TV that he put him in the ground, they needed to make one thing crystal clear: if Kody did have Garrison's ashes, it would have been against the law. Those ashes didn't belong to him legally, they explained. Kody wouldn't even be allowed to bury Garrison, because according to the paperwork, Kody wasn't on Garrison's birth certificate. Now on the show, Janelle has claimed that Kody's name appeared on the children's birth certificates, but the woman who processed the official documents has a different story. Kody's name was not mentioned in terms of the law. They told her Kody can claim to be the father, all right, but there is no legal documentation to support it. No paternity test, no entry on the birth certificate, nothing, and in Garrison's will, Kody was left out altogether. Garrison had made a will and named Janelle as his power of attorney. She managed the whole estate. Kody was not mentioned at all in it. He wasn't even mentioned on the insurance policy he got. Nothing. This source even joked that they would have loved to have been a fly on the wall when Kody realized that his name was nowhere in the will. They also indicated that there was a fear on the part of family members that Kody and Robyn would attempt to come after the money, but Garrison had prepared ahead to ensure they received nothing. So, in a sense, there's a little bit of a silver lining. Giving his youth, Garrison had completed all of his end-of-life arrangements, which left Janelle completely in charge. After his death, she was in a position to serve as executive, sell his house, and handle everything. And because the cremation was a matter of routine military procedure, there was no requirement for the family to make those choices. Everything was done as per Garrison's instructions. After his remains were cremated, the urn was delivered to Janelle and her sons at the memorial when Kody and Robyn showed up uninvited. The urn was still in Janelle and the sons' hands no one recognized. Kody and Robyn, they came with the TLC crew, and the memorial was taped. So why did Kody come with cameras from my source? The reason is horrifying. Kody had a plotline she had to shoot. And according to all that they said to me, I have no doubt in my mind, Kody controls the TLC reality show. He drives the story, the edit we are witnessing currently. It is all Kody's doing. He needs to appear like a dedicated, bereaved father. He needs a redemption story, and he is exploiting Garrison's death to build it. But the situation Kody was working on filming wasn't merely for showing himself grieving as a parent. He also hoped to depict the family as horrible and abusive toward Robyn. That's the claim of a source. They say Kody hired Robyn because she didn't want to go there. Allegedly. She didn't, since she didn't like Garrison either. But Kody wanted to incite drama. The goal, it seems, was to frame it like, I've just lost my son, I'm heartbroken. And this family is treating my wife horribly. That's precisely why the family didn't want Kody or Robyn there in the first place. Garrison didn't want anything to do with them, and the family was trying to respect those wishes. They weren't looking to turn his memorial into a reality show scene. Too bad Kody made that impossible. They reported that all the family could do was decline to be mic'd or recorded, but some of the women remain under contract. Whether they were able to have a say about being filmed isn't clear. The source couldn't verify whether they were mic'd or not, but perhaps they were obligated to comply. Since Kody arrived with TLC, when he did get there once more, the entire atmosphere changed, as all the guests started sitting down. Kody reportedly demanded to sit up in the front row, with Janelle next to her, so he could sit front and center as the mourning father next to the mourning mother. But no went the family. Instead, they chose Hunter, a military officer, and someone who was highly respected, would sit next to Janelle in the front row. Kody and Robyn were told to sit farther back. No one wanted them in the front, across the aisle from them. Mary sat next to Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn had apparently requested Mary sit with her because she needed comfort and support. Throughout the service, the source didn't know why. McKelty and Tony were seated apart, but they assured that Gwendolyn specifically requested Mary to sit with her later during the service. The family illustrated an important detail of military protocol. If a soldier passes away and she is married, the widowed spouse is given the flag and medals. However, if the soldier is single, the mother receives the honors, because Garrison was not married, and Kody wasn't included on his birth certificate either. Kody legally had no claim to those things. Nevertheless, the source claims he caused a scene, attempting to take the flag and medals. But the awards were awarded to Janelle according to normal military protocol. Even if Kody had sought them out, Janelle would have had to name him next of kin, and she didn't. So Janelle took the service from Garrison's military medals, and the folded flag the source also painted Janelle's 3 sons, Logan, Hunter, and Gabriel, as being very respectful, supportive, and fiercely protective of their mother. The 3 of them basically put themselves around her, not allowing Kody to get close. That was on purpose. They didn't want him within a mile of Janelle, because in their minds, Kody wasn't there for Garrison. Even during the funeral service, they added Kody did not behave like a man, grieving his son when the cameras were on him. He was attempting, like literally forcing himself to weep. And Robyn, but the source said it was totally performative. They were acting, they claim Kody entered, determined not to think about Garrison's life, but his own narrative about recording the material he required for his redemption arc. It's difficult to picture, but it follows. And lastly, after the memorial concluded, the urn containing Garrison's ashes was handed over to Janelle. And the boys, Kody didn't have a legal claim on the remains. And yet the family later stated that they don't know how, or if Kody even acquired the ashes. The reality is that nobody actually knows whether Garrison was indeed buried in Wyoming, or if Kody was merely presented with some of the ashes. If any at all, the family was surprised when Kody, out of the blue, started discussing burying Garrison, as that had never been included in the initial plan. They say that Kody, after failing with the memorial service, this is where his whole Wyoming burial story was conjured up, that Kody invented this as a new narrative, a senseless pilgrimage to bury his son in dramatic fashion, to establish himself as a mourning father on a righteous quest. But the Kody you watch on TV, sobbing, emoting with Robyn, standing beside him, faking it, that wasn't what the family witnessed. They all argue that it was all an act. The prevailing sentiment among Garrison's siblings and loved ones was the same. They did not want Kody and Robyn present. They wanted to respect Garrison's request, not make the memorial a rating, stumping event for a reality television show. Some of the siblings were angry. Lots weren't talking to Kody at all. In their view, Kody and Robyn arrived not out of grief or love, but to take advantage of the situation. Kody wanted to act out the role of the bereaved father. Robyn wanted to act out the role of the sympathetic stepmother who was being shunned by the insensitive family. But when they got there, it was as if Kody and Robyn stepped in, thinking that they were royalty, like people should bow to them, and instead they were greeted by silence. It became apparent, the source continued, that they had no meaningful relationships with any of the people in the room. In fact, some of Kody's own extended family members were said to have been in attendance and didn't even want to talk to him. That's how terrible things have become. And here's the deeper concern: Kody seems more focused on what you, the viewers, will see on the show than on the actual truth. The family is deeply worried about how TLC is going to frame this. They're concerned about how Kody's decision to say, "I'm putting him in the ground," will be portrayed, because that directly violates Garrison's wishes. Garrison had left no doubt he wanted to be cremated. That was what the family consented to, and that's what the military planned for Kody had no legal standing to do. Otherwise, if he somehow obtained some of the ashes and proceeded with a burial, the family thinks it would have had to occur under duress or coercion. They complained that Garrison deserved better. He was a serviceman. He served his nation if he were to be buried. He should have had a decent military burial with full honors and the respect that accompanies it. But that's not what transpired. One last note: the source reported that they were deeply moved by Mary. They were shocked because, having watched her on the show pretty much entirely through Kody's account, they anticipated that she would be cold or aloof. But she was one of the kindest, warmest, and most down-to-earth of them all. All of the children were said to be kind and gracious. Only Kody and Robyn were selfish, distant, and emotionally manipulative, making the day all about themselves rather than Garrison. And that's what stings the most. Those individuals who work in mortuary services, particularly those who work with military memorials, take what they do very seriously. They strive to present families with dignity, respect, and honor in some of their darkest moments. To them, listening to Kody make light of saying he wanted to put him in the ground when a proper military service had already been held was very offensive. Kody and Robyn appearing uninvited, knowing they weren't welcome, their knowing Garrison himself had severed relations with them, only serves to prove the disrespect they had for him in life and in death, because let's not forget, Kody wouldn't even let Garrison into his house. And still, in death, Garrison's desires continued to be ignored. He didn't want his father and stepmother present. He didn't want his funeral recorded. But Kody proceeded anyway. It's agonizingly obvious that the majority of the Brown family would no longer be interested in participating in this show. And yet, Kody continues to trudge on camera, in tow, making every intimate moment a TV scene. No one knows what kind of contract he's locked them into, but it's hard not to feel for them, because now it seems like Kody is going to use this tragedy to spin a new storyline, that he and Robyn are being abused by the rest of the family, that they're being mistreated and alienated. But that's not the truth. The reality is, Kody wasn't welcome there due to the harm he's inflicted, the manipulation, the exploitation, the relentless use of his family's suffering for ratings. He doesn't arrive as a father. He arrives when there's a camera. He cries on camera. He acts grief but doesn't experience it. That's what the family wants you to believe. Don't be fooled by the phony narrative. Don't be a sucker for the tears that appear only when the mic is warm. Because the actual Kody is aloof. He doesn't have anything to do with the kids he assisted in bringing into the world. That's the truth. So what do you guys think about all this? Let me know in the comments below. And one last thing, this is all from the point of view of those closest to the case. These are claims and personal stories. All of it is being put out here for entertainment purposes and educational purposes. But most importantly, Garrison's life was important. He was a human being, he served his country, he was a good man, and he was entitled to be remembered with dignity and love. That's why this individual is coming forward. So we don't forget what Garrison was about. If this video touched your heart, please thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, and press that bell icon so you never miss a new video. Thanks so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Bye, guys.